Give us the outlook moving forward, your view, and why you're optimistic.
Well, Tim, we're having an investor day today for Plug Symposium. And I think off the bat is that we see sales growth. When you look at our earnings, we did approximately $177 million in revenue. We expect that we'll be at $215 million in revenue in the fourth quarter here. That'll get us to 0% gross margin, which is on track with what we're focusing on with our Project Quantum Leap. And it really positions us to be able to achieve EBITDA break even by the fourth quarter of next year.
We reported last week, our Bloomberg NEF team reported out that oil and gas major ExxonMobil might pause its blue hydrogen project in Baytown, Texas, due to government subsidy cuts and insufficient buyers for the clean fuel. Might hydrogen and plug power be just too early to thrive and survive?
Well, the world's a lot bigger than Texas and a lot bigger than the United States. So much of our activity is actually global. Now, we've grown our electrolyzer business, which produces green hydrogen, from $5 million in 2023 and targeting $200 million this year. We're doing projects with large oil companies in Europe, people like BP, Iberdrola, as well as with Galp in Portugal. So the climate in the U.S. may not be as exciting. The climate around the world is, we see continual growth. We've been at the Plug Symposium here today. Mm-hmm. I heard from High 24, which is an investment fund, and they're talking about all the projects they see are going on around the world, which will support the development of green hydrogen. And it's the largest investor fund in the world for hydrogen.
Hey, Andy, Carol and I were talking about what you do, and part of your business at Plug Power is using electrolyzers. So essentially creating hydrogen and oxygen, splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen. It's energy intensive, and this is in an environment where we're seeing power costs go higher as a result of investments in AI, increased use of electricity, not just by companies, but by consumers as well. How do you control costs when it comes to electrolyzing?
Well, Tim, that's actually one of our advantages of our technology. You can turn it on and off. One item you're not pinpointing is that, for example, in Germany, in the month of May, 17.5% of the time, the grid was zero or negative as far as costs. You could be using that time to generate hydrogen, low cost and competitive with natural gas. So I think it depends where you are in the world. But as grids become more and more renewables, and that's happening in Europe, as well as with nuclear power, hydrogen's actually a great flexible load. Electrolyzers are a great flexible load on the grid. And then you combine that with the fact that regulations around the world are really forcing people to reduce their carbon footprint. May not be the way happening in the U.S. at the moment, but it is happening. I spent a week in Australia. It was just fascinating, the commitment you see around the world for green hydrogen.
Well, that's what I want to ask you, Andy. We've only got maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes left here. So, here we are on a day where we're seeing the United States and Saudi's Mohammed bin Salman, in the White House. Is it your expectation that your business, where the growth is, it's shifting from the U.S. to outside the United States? I know you guys have something that you just did in the U.K. So I'm just curious, is that the focus? Is that where the growth is?
I think the electrolyzer business, there actually is growth there in the United States. We see European players coming to the U.S. to leverage the renewable power to generate RNG to ship overseas. But we also have a good business in the United States with our material handling business. We expect growth with our big customers this year, people in 2026, people like Amazon and Walmart. So, the recent legislation in July of 2025 actually put an investment tax credit in for fuel cells that's 30% from 26 to 32, which is a real boom to us in this industry. So we're we're feeling pretty good about the United States with our fuel cell business and feeling really good about our electrolyzer business in Europe, Australia, and other places around the world.
You mentioned some of your customers: Walmart, Amazon, Home Depot, Airbus, AT&T, Alphabet, I should say, and more, UPS. How do you get those customers to use more hydrogen-powered products and move away from fossil fuels?
I can tell you the reason Walmart uses it, because we help them to move 8% more goods per hour. There's a real value proposition there. We also help them take power off the grid. We've been talking about the grid, but that power can be used to power freezers, which allow them to sell more frozen foods, which is a real growth opportunity for them and for all food providers.